Ang resulta, lagpas taong taas ng baha.
Kagabi takot na po kami. Ilang minuto lang po na ang taas na po ng tubig.
Merong mga outsiders na nananamantala.
Wala pa nga rin daw tumutulong sa kanila.
Kahit yung mga bahay dito sa paligid, lubog na sa baha.
Tuloy-tuloy ang balita.
Weekend.
Sabado at Linggo. Kaya narito kami para ihatid ang pinakamainit na balita at impormasyon para sa inyo. Newsroom Weekend sa CNN Philippines.
This is Newsnight, where we go above and beyond the headlines. I'm Pia Ontiveros. Tonight on the program, can businesses reject job applicants who are still unvaccinated against COVID-19? President Duterte says employers have the legal right to do so. The president has chosen his 7th Philippine National Police Chief. Jonardo Carlos is taking the helm of the police force. And good news for moviegoers. Some theaters reopened their doors after a year of shutdown because of the pandemic. Employers have the legal right to refuse job applicants who are unvaccinated against COVID-19. That's according to President Duterte. The president, who is a lawyer, explains in doing so, business owners are only protecting their investments and other employees. Here's the president in his own words.
You have the right to refuse to accept as an employee of somebody who is not vaccinated and would go and join the rest of the employees in the factory or in a place or whatever workplace that you have as your business. Tapos this guy would start to contaminate everybody. It could mean a loss of stoppage of whatever kung puro nagkasakit na. I think it's legal for employers not to accept people who are not vaccinated.
While he sees no problem with employers not hiring unvaccinated applicants, Mr. Duterte, however, says it would be illegal for business owners to fire employees who refuse to be vaccinated. Justice Secretary Menardo Guevara earlier said there is no legal basis for businesses to force employees to receive coronavirus shots. The Labor Department also said employees cannot be terminated just because they are unvaccinated. But for Senator Grace Poe, unvaccinated applicants should not be rejected and instead be offered assistance. Poe calls for more efficient coordination between companies and local governments to give those seeking jobs access to COVID-19 vaccines. She says giving people both the vaccines and jobs will save lives and livelihoods amid the pandemic. The latest data shows there are 4.25 million unemployed Filipinos in September. That is 370,000 more from the 3.88 million in August. The government aims to immunize 15 million individuals during the 3-day vaccination drive dubbed Bayanihan Bakunahan. Vaccine czar Carlito Galvez says other regions will extend help to those still struggling to administer shots during the event slated from November 29th to December 1st. Schools, gymnasiums, fast food chains, malls, and workplaces will be transformed into inoculation sites so that there is enough space to accommodate all vaccinees. President Duterte urged Filipinos to participate in the program.
Na yung lahat nagpabakuna are heroes. Lahat kayo hero. Yung hindi nagpabakuna, yung mga pangit na bigyan ng problema na
Nearly 30 million people in the country have been fully vaccinated, while 35 million have received their first dose. Before leaving the country, overseas Filipino workers are getting their COVID-19 doses from the government, but some skipped out because of the vaccine brand. The vaccination drive at the Department of Labor and Employment's main office saw confusion among OFWs after finding out they were getting AstraZeneca shots. Because these require a 3-month gap between the first and second doses, OFWs were afraid it could delay their travel abroad. The Labor Secretary said the allotted shots were from Brunei.
Actually, walang problema ang vaccine para sa mga OFW dahil A1 sila eh. Nagkataon lang kasi na pinadalan ako ng Brunei ng I think 2,000 dosage ng AstraZeneca, and Mrs. Sermonia of Clans requested for immediate vaccination. So agad-agad ay ni-schedule natin yung vaccination ng mga OFWs ngayon na who are scheduled to leave already for their destination.
Labor officials explained to OFWs that they could get their second dose in countries where they would be deployed. Dole aims to vaccinate 2,000 workers bound for travel abroad. Now, the government buys more syringes as reserve stock so that the COVID-19 immunization drive will not be affected. The World Health Organization earlier advised countries to plan ahead, warning of a possible shortage of up to 2 billion COVID vaccine syringes next year. In a statement to CNN Philippines, Health Undersecretary Mirna Kabutahe said the country has 5.9 million auto-destruct syringes in stock that is compatible with most shots. But Kabutahe added the current supply of 0.3 millimeter syringes for Pfizer doses are not enough. The government has so far secured 44 million of these through UNICEF, including reserve stocks. But deliveries have been late because of a global shortage. 4 million syringes are expected to arrive by the end of the month. As plans to reopen more schools are underway, a group wants students to have free access to housing and transportation. The National Union of Students of the Philippines says this is one way to prevent students from catching COVID-19, particularly those who commute to school. Last week, the government hit the green light on increasing passenger capacity in public transport, citing the decrease in cases.
Nandito pa rin talaga tayo sa point na nagko-call tayo for additional funding para mag-materialize itong mga basic services na ito na ma-provide sa ating mga estudyante na sasabak sa face-to-face classes.
Health advocate Dr. Josh San Pedro also stresses the need for regular testing among teachers and school personnel. He cites recommendations from the World Health Organization and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention that monitoring student symptoms is not enough to avoid transmission. But for Education Chief Leonor Briones, regular testing may be, quote, traumatic for young students. The pilot run of limited in-person classes will be done in 120 schools with students from kinder to grade 3 and senior high school. Now, in news overseas, Singapore will require anyone, quote, unvaccinated by choice to pay for their own medical bills if they seek treatment for COVID-19. The Southeast Asian government pays for all COVID-19 related medical bills for Singaporeans, permanent residents, and long-term visa holders. But the country's health ministry says the unvaccinated make up a majority of those requiring intensive inpatient care, straining its healthcare resources. The new policy takes effect December 8th. France will require people over 65 years old to get a third COVID-19 shot to revalidate their health pass. The health pass has been an essential tool in boosting the country's immunization rates, as those without it are banned entry to public transport and other public and private spaces. Several parts of Europe are currently battling new case spikes caused by the Delta variant. Myanmar announces plans to welcome international tourists in early 2022. Officials have set up a website to anticipate tourist interest. Some governments, however, warn the residents to stay away from Myanmar because of COVID-19 concerns and instability in the wake of a coup. A military junta overthrew the country's democratically elected government in February. Coming up on Newsnight, a former police spokesman is taking on a new role as the 7th chief of the Philippine National Police under the Duterte administration. And an ally of presidential daughter and Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte is confident she will gun for the highest post in 2022. Details after this short break.
Love is all about time. Di
minamadali ang pagpapasarap. Like the love in every Pure Foods ready-to-eat. Slow-cooked and ready in 8 minutes. Para may time ka sa mga mahal mo. Because love takes time.
Kabilang ba kayo sa mga Pilipino na nahihirapan sa mga transaksyon dahil wala o kulang ang mga valid IDs?
Huwag nang mag-alala dahil narito na po ang PhilSys, ang identification system ng bawat Pilipino.
Para sa Step 1 registration, pumunta lang sa register.philsys.gov.ph para makapag-register sa PhilSys online.
Ito
ang
PhilSys,
PhilSys, ID natin to.
Listo at ganado ang baby ko sa vet-approved NutriChunks.
With active boost and prebiotics na pampalisto. Made with real meat, with essential nutrients to help them grow
Healthy and happy.
listo, ganado sa NutriChunks.
Discovery Plus has arrived in the Philippines. Your new home of larger-than-life entertainment and unforgettable characters is here. Subscribe now at 129 pesos for the first year. Don't miss out.
This Christmas, gift giving is made easy at Robinsons Supermarket with their easy-to-order Christmas baskets. Here in Robinsons Supermarket, our customers can choose from pre-made, vendor exclusives, a basket for World Vision, and fruit baskets. We also have dessert and platters, which are available in select Robinsons Supermarket branches. Our customers also have the option to create their own baskets based on their preferences and liking. We offer a wide variety of baskets for as low as 150 pesos up to 3,500 pesos depending on your budget. Customers can order these Christmas baskets in all Robinsons Supermarket branches or online via Go Robinsons. For the complete list of the available baskets, you can visit our customer service area or view the online catalog in our official website. Our Christmas baskets are available until January 15, 2022 in all Robinsons Supermarket branches. Enjoy a stress-free holiday season by ordering a Christmas basket and spread joy to your loved ones easily and safely. Merry Christmas!
Welcome back to Newsnight. President Rodrigo Duterte names Jonardo Carlos as the new Philippine National Police Chief. Carlos will replace Guillermo Eleazar, who is set to retire on Saturday, November 13th. Malacanang says it is confident he will continue making the PNP a, quote, professional, capable, and reform-oriented organization. Carlos, a member of the PMA Maringal class of 1988, is the current head of the PNP directorial staff. He also served as PNP spokesperson, Eastern Visayas Police Regional Director, and Highway Patrol Group Commander. Carlos will hold the top police post until May 2022, when he is set to retire at the mandatory age of 56. He is the 7th PNP chief under the Duterte administration. The Regional Drug Enforcement Agency in Davao carries out an internal probe into a controversial buy-bust operation in Davao de Oro. Former Davao City Information Officer Jeffrey Tupas was linked to a drug raid on Saturday at a beach resort in Mabini town, where a businessman and 16 others were arrested. In a statement with Rappler, Tupas claimed he left an hour before the raid took place, but the suspects claimed in an interview with news site Newsline Philippines that Tupas was present during the operation but was released because of her supposed connection to Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte. PIDEA Director Wilkins Villanueva denied this on state television.
Walang Jeffrey Tupas sa target natin during the operation sa Davao de Oro.
Okay.
According mismo kay Jeffrey, nag-attend siya ng private beach party, but eventually umalis sila ng boyfriend niya before na ikasa ang buy-bust operation. So in short, hindi siya kasama sa mga hinuli. This is the first time na nagkaroon ng successful buy-bust operation sa isang private rave party. And our agent should be congratulated for successfully doing it.
Villanueva added the Duterte family has never interfered in any anti-drug operation in Davao. An ally of Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte believes she will run for president after she withdrew her re-election bid. Albay Representative Joey Salceda says he has been in touch with Duterte and that gunning for the vice presidency is not on the table for her. Salceda claims there is a strong chance she will run as the standard bearer of the Lakas CMD, the party of former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, instead of PDP Laban, which is headed by her father, President Duterte. The lawmaker adds the younger Duterte would have filed her certificate of candidacy for president earlier, but faced hurdles in her plans.
That is the only logical conclusion to all the gyrations in politics inside the administration. And BP is definitely not an option for her. She wanted to run on her terms. That's something. And that shows, I would say, enlightened stubbornness to a goal or unyielding firmness towards a purpose. So she did not yield a single inch. So she's running for president on her own terms.
Salceda first announced in May that Mayor Sara will seek the country's highest post. He says the mayor will reveal her plans before November 15, the deadline for the substitution of candidates. While Davao City Mayor Sara Duterte remains mum on her next steps after withdrawing her re-election bid, presidential hopeful Bongbong Marcos is urging the public to patiently wait for her decision. Marcos, through his spokesperson Vic Rodriguez, says any comment on the matter would be, quote, very inappropriate. But that's amid speculations about a possible Marcos-Duterte tandem ahead of the November 15 deadline for substitution. Another aspirant, Manila Mayor Isko Moreno, says he does not care about any political move from the Davao City Mayor. Moreno says he would rather focus on listening to people's concerns than dwell on others' politics. Vice President Leni Robredo yesterday said the political plans of Duterte's children would not affect her bid for the country's top posts.
Tingin ko it can work to our advantage. Dahil mas klaro kung ano yung mga pinaglalaban, ano yung mga paniniwala, sino yung mga maghahampi. Tingin ko pag nangyari ito, yun yung magiging resulta na mas magiging defined yung mga linya.
Wala naman akong pakialam sa kung anong gusto nilang gawin sa politika nila. Kami ni Doc Willie tumakbo, nagdesisyon ng maaga, sumali at isinumitan namin ang aming aplikasyon sa taong bayan para maglingkod sa taong bayan. Yung kanila, wala naman kami doon, hindi naman kami kasali ng kanilang politika. Buhay nila yon. Basta kami, sa tao muna.
In a tweet, Labor leader Leody de Guzman dared Mayor Duterte to run. In this way, de Guzman says the public can further show their contempt for what he describes as her father's failed governance. Well, what would Sara Duterte's path to the presidential race or any other national post in the 2022 elections be? Our Melissa Lopez is here to walk us through the process of substitution. Melissa, go ahead.
Pia, political parties have 4 working days left to tweak their lineups for the upcoming polls. The Commission on Elections has set a November 15 deadline, that's on Monday, for what it calls voluntary substitutions, where parties are allowed to switch the candidates they're fielding for any post. It's a much-awaited maneuver, especially with presidential survey frontrunner Mayor Sara Duterte suddenly opting out of re-election in Davao City on Tuesday.
He is a regional party. If she is going to substitute, then she will have to join a political party that already has a candidate for whatever position she wants to substitute.
The poll body is also making special adjustments this year and announced it will also accept applications for substitution on Saturday from 8 in the morning until 5 in the afternoon at the lobby of its headquarters, the Palacio del Gobernador in Intramuros, Manila, outside usual office hours. Aspirants must show up before COMELEC and personally withdraw their certificates of candidacy. Their replacements must belong to the same party and should file their own COCs together with a certificate of nomination from their political party. COMELEC says independent candidates cannot be substituted. There are 16 parties which fielded a presidential bet for 2022. And if we remove the groups that are not allied with Mayor Sara, there are about 10 national parties that could pave the way for her to join the presidential race if she so desires. This is the same process that Sara's father, then Mayor Rodrigo Duterte, went through when he ran for president under PDP Laban in 2016. Meanwhile, COMELEC has received at least 91 petitions to stop the candidacies of national bets, including that against presidential aspirant Bongbong Marcos. Back to you, Pia.
Melissa, do we have any updates on preparations for the campaign and election day itself on May 9th? That's only 6 months away.
Yes, Pia, just this morning, the COMELEC and Bank voted for longer voting hours. Voting will start at 6 in the morning on May 9th and will be open until 7 in the evening. However, Commissioner Marlon Casquejo says that the 7 p.m. time is just the cutoff for people or voters to line up, and that precincts will only close once the last person in the line by that time has cast his ballot. As for campaign guidelines, these are still being finalized, although Casquejo said they are looking to anchor the categories or restrictions for campaigning to the alert level in a certain area or municipality. So if the COVID-19 restrictions are loose in the specific local government unit, more candidates and more supporters can interact in face-to-face campaign events. Back to you.
Melissa Lopez there reporting. Still ahead on Newsnight, cinemas in Metro Manila are finally reopening to moviegoers. Find out which films will be heading to the big screen. And speaking of films, a popular anime series is getting a live-action adaptation. We give you a first look at the cast of One Piece after the break.
Number one ba talaga ang Pure Foods Tender Juicy? The best! No more questions, Your Honor. Walang duda! Pinaka-tender, pinaka-juicy, at pinaka-masarap. Kaya number one. Pa-order by the heart!
Walang duda! Kids can tell, number one ang Pure Foods Tender Juicy.
I'll be teaching you how to make a salty dog, which is typically a vodka-based cocktail, but as a gin lover, we're changing it up to make it even better. For this, you'll need, for the tools, grab your lemon wedge and apply it on the mouth of your glass. Grab your salt and dip in the mouth of your glass to create an even layer. Grab your cocktail shaker and pour your grapefruit juice, your lime juice, and your simple syrup. Lastly, our GSM Premium Gin. We're going to fill our shaker with ice. Now, shake. Get your glass and carefully add in some ice. Pour our cocktail. Then a grapefruit wedge. And here it is, your salty dog made with GSM Premium Gin.
When it comes to my family, I make sure to give them only the best. Meals that are healthy, safe, and flavorful. And that is why I choose Magnolia ready-to-cook chicken templados. It is so easy to prepare. In just 12 to 15 minutes, you can already enjoy this delicious family favorite. All you have to do is preheat your pan with oil. Now, pan fry your Magnolia ready-to-cook chicken barbecue. And if you wish, you can also grill this for about 12 to 15 minutes or until cooked. There you go, and now you can enjoy home-style goodness with Magnolia ready-to-cook chicken templados. Now, each Salyado Sigurado pack is pre-marinated. It is made from fresh chicken. It is so easy to prepare and super delicious. And not only that, but it is also high in protein, which helps boost our immune system. And you can get your Magnolia ready-to-cook chicken templados from Magnolia Chicken Stations. They come in chicken tocino flavor, and they also have the chicken teriyaki. This is so tasty, so tender, super, super delicious. My kids absolutely love this. Now, it's also good to know that Magnolia chickens are raised in a stress-free environment with no hormones, no antibiotic residue, and with omega-3. Ganyan ang alagang Magnolia.
Welcome back. Today, theaters got to see Pinoy moviegoers again after over a year of closure because of the pandemic. Movie exhibitors in the country say they lost 21 billion pesos in ticket sales. They're now trying to recover by reopening some cinemas as restrictions eased in Metro Manila. Chrissy Matulak has that story.
Watching movies is a form of therapy for Lord De Vera. When cinemas closed down temporarily due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Lord needed to find new ways to cope with his anxiety and stress. So when he heard the news that cinemas can now reopen, he was one of the first people to line up and buy a ticket.
I really tried not to watch kasi I want to watch it on the big screen na knowing na may mag-open na yung cinemas. Kasi I'm a fan of watching movies talaga sa cinema, even if mag-isa lang ako.
There are others who are just as enthusiastic as Lord, like this group of friends patiently waiting for their turn to buy tickets.
Masaya kasi pwede nang manood ng movies yung kasama yung family namin.
Fully vaccinated naman na po, tsaka may social distancing pa rin naman po siguro.
Under Alert Level 2, cinemas can operate at 50% capacity for fully vaccinated individuals. Moviegoers would have to present their vaccination cards before they can buy tickets. In some cities like San Juan, minors aged 12 and up can also watch movies.
Of course, automatic na fully vaccinated adults dapat. Ngunit pati ang minors, nire-require po nila na fully vaccinated.
Inside movie houses, eating is prohibited, and the one-seat-apart policy is being implemented. Face masks should be worn. Despite the steady rise of movie streaming platforms, exhibitors say nothing can beat seeing films on the big screen.
Watching in a theater is still incomparable, no? Especially for the blockbusters movies. We have all the sensorrounds and everything, so we will have all the big titles coming in.
And of course, the screen is bigger compared to your house, no? And at the house, maraming interruption. Dito at least, you can watch for 2 hours, no, relax, and enjoy the experience of watching a movie in the theater.
Even with the implementation of health protocols in cinemas, movie enthusiasts are still happy that things are going back to the way they were. Chrissy Matulak, CNN Philippines.
As theaters' doors reopen, we give you a look at some of the titles you can already watch today with your mask and face shield on. On the menu is sci-fi blockbuster Dune, which broke box office records upon release, and the sequel to the horror hit A Quiet Place. It arrives in the country nearly 6 months after its U.S. release. The long wait will also be over for fans of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Black Widow, starring Scarlett Johansson, comes out November 17, and Shang-Chi, the first Asian-led superhero MCU movie, is out on the 24th. Third on the plate is the star-studded Eternals, dropping on the first day of December. For anime fans, here are the faces that will portray the infamous Straw Hat Pirates on Netflix. The streaming giant announced 5 cast members for the live-action adaptation of the hit show and manga One Piece. Iñaki Godoy will play Luffy, and joining him are Mac Kenyu as Zoro, Emily Rudd as Nami, Jacob Romero Gibson as Usopp, and Taz Skylar as Sanji. Tomorrow Studios and One Piece publisher Shueisha are producing the 10-episode series. Carolers may sing Merry Christmas out on the streets again if they comply with health protocols. The Yuletide singing tradition was banned last year to help prevent COVID-19 cases. But this Christmas, Interior Undersecretary Jonathan Malaya said caroling is allowed for areas under Alert Level 2 as long as minimum public health standards are allowed or followed. Carolers outdoors and those listening can take up to 70% of the location's capacity. And if indoors, it would be at 50% capacity with all attendees already vaccinated. It is 45 days before Christmas, and that is it for now. Join me on News.ph at 7 p.m. I'm Pia Ontiveros for Newsnight, where we go above and beyond the headlines.
The Burr months are almost here, and while there are many things to look forward to this season, it also means the monsoon months come with a number of diseases that we need to protect ourselves from. We need to prepare as early as now to keep ourselves and our loved ones safe as well as protected. And on the monsoon diseases and how best to safeguard ourselves against them. I'm Dr. Freddie Gomez. And
so many
welcome to
questions about
Mental
what is
Health
the federal
Talk on
government doing.
CNN.
Do you get the anger that is out here? How concerned are you about the front line? You don't believe that there's a racial divide here. Looking back, as president, did you tell the story of race in America enough, do you think?
All the places I've been and all the
As
things
weather
I've
gets
seen,
a little
all the
cooler
people
than
I've talked
usual,
to,
there are
I carry
several
with me.
rainy season
They're part of
diseases
what
to
I do
watch out
right
for.
here,
And
holding the
what are these
powerful
diseases
accountable,
and how can
keeping
we
them
protect
honest.
ourselves
AC
from them?
360,
Let's welcome our guest
Tuesday
for
through
today.
Saturday
With us is
only
Dr.
on
Fernie
CNN.
Guzman, infectious disease specialist from the San Lazaro Hospital. And we're also joined by Dr. Rosemary Fuentes
Bawal
de la
muna
Rosa,
ang
who
pakikipag-usap sa
practices
loob ng mga
pediatrics.
tren ng MRT.
Now, among all rainy
Some
season
residents are
diseases,
back on the
many
streets
of
of
you are
Sampaloc, Manila
probably
after the
most familiar
48-hour
with
lockdown.
dengue.
Pagtaas
It's
ng mga
one of
kaso
the
ng
most
COVID-19
widespread
dito
diseases
sa bansa.
during these months in our country. So
Naglagay
I'll
na
start
ng
the
mga
discussion
improvised
kay
barriers
Dr.
para sa mga
Fernie. Dr.
nagbibisikleta.
Fernie, ano bang
Typhoon Ulysses
kailangan
at
malaman
Super
ng ating
Typhoon
mga viewers pagdating sa
Christy
dengue?
Matulak,
So vector-borne po ito. So sa mosquito po ito nanggagaling. And the government has been very, very active po sa campaign
This
against
program
this
is rated
disease.
PG.
Just
It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is
Very important po
advised.
na-emphasize pa rin ng government ang 4S po. Ito po ang ating moves against the spread
Let's kick
of
off the
dengue.
summer fun
Bago
here at
nagkaroon ng
Wholesome Meals
pandemic,
Better
lahat
Life. The
ng mga
next
may
half
lagnat
hour
is considered
is filled with
dengue until
delicious,
proven
healthy,
otherwise. But
and
dengue
easy to
is
prepare
still around,
meals
so we
for the
still
whole
need to be
family.
careful
I'm Christine
for
Jacobs
it.
Sandejas,
Now, dengue
and
is
this
a
program
disease
is
caused
brought to you by
any
San
one
Miguel
of 4
Corporation.
closely related types of dengue viruses. And as of now, there's still no cure for it, but treatment is towards symptom relief. Dr. Sally, could you tell us about some of the signs and symptoms that may point to a
You know, our
person
summer
having
plans
dengue?
this year may not be the
So when
usual,
we
but
say
as
dengue,
a
the
mapiling
most
ina,
common signs
we
and
can still
symptoms
create
of
fun
such
and
includes
bonding
yung
moments even
intermittent
at home.
fever
So
or
today,
yung
we'll show
pabalik-balik
you
na
how
lagnat,
you can
usually
have
lasts
a
for 2 to
feast
7 days.
packed with
Some
malinamnam
patients may
dishes
also
without
exhibit
having
yung
to
mga
leave
muscle
your
and
home.
joint
And
pains,
get
yung
excited
pagsakit
because
ng
our awesome
mga
chef is
kasukasuan,
here. Hi,
and
Chef
others may
Yan.
also
Hello,
feel yung
Christine,
mga pain
and to
behind
all
the eyes,
mommies
masakit
out
yung mata nila.
there. So, Chef,
And
can you
there
tell
may
us
also
more
be
about the
associated
special
na
dishes that you
bleeding
prepared
from
for
the
us today?
gums, nose,
With our
and
dishes
even sa
today,
stool.
you can turn
Some may
simple
also
meals into
experience loss
dishes
of appetite
na
or kawalan ng
malinamnam
gana
at
kumain,
katakam-takam.
at
So
pagsakit ng
today,
tiyan,
we have chicken
and also
pastel
skin
cups and
rashes.
turon
If you're
that are
feeling
made
any of these
even
symptoms,
more special
telehealth is
with
readily
Magnolia Dairy
available
Cream.
for
Ang
you.
pinipili
Dengue
ng
infection
mapiling
can
ina.
get
Now, the
progressively
aroma
worse,
also
so
makes a big
early detection
difference, and that's
ang
because
kailangan.
of Magnolia
These
Dairy
types
Cream.
of
It makes
symptoms,
any
Dr.
dish
Sally, some
katakam-takam,
people may
ang masarap na,
automatically
mas
think
masarap pa.
na
And you
meron
can
silang
actually
COVID-19.
choose between
Ano yung mga
Magnolia Dairy
symptoms
Cream
ng
Classic
dengue
or Magnolia
na talagang
Dairy Cream
bukod-tangi sa
Buttermilk,
dengue?
which are
To
both
distinguish
available in
them
200
apart,
grams
since
and
overlapping
100
yung
grams.
symptoms nila,
Grab
is to
Magnolia
get the
Dairy Cream now
diagnostic
in
test
all leading
specific for those
supermarkets and
diseases.
grocery
That
stores
way, we can
nationwide.
tell them
You can
apart,
also
we can
order
objectively
online and have
accurately
it delivered
diagnose
to
the
your
patient.
home.
Kapag
Just
may
visit
kahit
the
isang symptom pa lang, the best thing to do while waiting
Okay,
to
so
be
Chef, you tell us
tested
more
is to isolate
about your
themselves.
chicken
Kasi
pastel
hindi pa
cups that you
sure kung ano
prepared.
yung
Chicken pastel is
pinakasakit nila,
already
whether
a
dengue pa
delicious
talaga
dish
or
on its own, but we
COVID-19.
added a
Now, another
twist by putting
mosquito-borne
them
disease
in
that
bread
has
cups
quickly evolved in our
that
country
are
is
fun to
malaria.
make
Now,
and to
Dr.
look
Ferdy,
at. And more
anong
importantly,
mga simptomas ang
masarap. I
pwedeng makita
really
sa
love
isang
how you
tao
described
na
it,
may
Chef. And I
malaria?
agree with you
With malaria
on
po,
that,
there is a
especially when it comes to
cycle.
the presentation.
So,
Kasi alam
fever
naman natin,
kills
this is so important
diaphoresis.
para
So,
hindi
in other
mabore ang
words,
mga
ano po
kids. So,
itong
Chef, please
diaphoresis?
tell us more. We want more on how you make this.
Pinapapawalisan po. So,
Sir
cold,
Christine,
clammy
so these are
perspiration.
ingredients.
So, pareho po
Half
siya
cup,
ng,
3
let's say,
tablespoons
COVID,
of Magnolia
nasabi
Dairy
ni
Cream
Dr.
Classic
dengue,
chocolate, 12
but
slices of
may
loaf bread,
cycle po. So,
1/4
every 3
kilogram
days,
Magnolia
pwede
Chicken
siyang
Station breast
cyclic,
fillet cut
periodic,
into
every
small
4
cubes,
days.
3
When it
pieces
comes to
pure food
malaria,
tender
dapat po
juicy
may
chicken
history
cheese
of
hot dog,
travels sa endemic
each
areas.
piece cut into
You
small
don't
cubes,
find malaria area.
One piece or about 100
the
grams
heart
of
Metro
potato
Manila.
cube. It's about
Okay,
1/3 cup.
I think you bring up a good point,
One
Dr. Ferdy,
198-gram
that
can,
malaria
mushrooms,
is very
pieces and
unlikely
stems
to be
drained.
seen here
One
in
piece or about
populated
40
areas,
grams of
urban
carrot
areas.
grated.
Why is that
One
so? Meron
piece
kayang
about
kinalaman
30
ito sa
grams
type
red
of
bell
vector
pepper
at yung
chop.
kung saan
1
niya
cup
gustong
magnolia
manirahan?
fresh milk. 1/4
The scientists
teaspoon
discovered
iodized fine
an additional
salt. 1/8
species po
teaspoon
sa list
pepper.
of
2 tablespoons or 20 grams of Magnolia all-purpose flour dissolved in about half cup of chicken stock. Now, after you've gathered all the ingredients, just follow these steps. So first, grease the cupcake pan with about 3 tablespoons Magnolia Dairy Cream Classic. Then set this aside. Meanwhile, flatten bread slices thinly with a rolling pin
Now,
and
apart
then
from
trim the
mosquito-borne
dark
illnesses,
edges.
a number of rainy
Press
season
down to
diseases
form
in our
bread
country
cups
are
on
due
the
to
prepared
improper solid
pan.
waste
Then
disposal.
in a pan,
It's also a
melt the
common
remaining half
pastime
cup
to
of
wade
Magnolia
in
Dairy Cream
flooded waters
Classic.
here at home.
Saute the chicken
And among
and
these
hot dogs
diseases
for about
is
5 minutes.
leptospirosis.
Add the
Dr.
potato,
Ferdy, please
mushrooms,
explain
carrot,
kung ano
bell
ang
pepper,
leptospirosis.
and
Anong
milk.
dapat malaman ng ating mga
Season with
viewers?
salt and pepper. Then you simmer this covered for about 5 to 7 minutes. Now add flour mixture while stirring continuously until the mixture thickens. Now you're ready to scoop the chicken mixture onto the prepared bread cup and bake this in a preheated oven set to 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 10 to 12 minutes or until the bread turns like golden brown in color. Alam mo, Chef, you showed us really how we can take our simple dishes into a whole new level. Now from a savory snack, we move on to something sweet, my personal favorite. So let's move on to our turon. This turon, Christine, was made special with Magnolia Dairy Cream buttermilk. Nothing too fancy on the outside, but I played around the flavors using our dairy cream. Oh no, Chef, you are teasing me. Okay, what is the difference between the one you made compared to our regular turons that we would have? Ito, meron siyang glaze. It's a combination of yung ating Magnolia full cream milk and brown sugar. And then finish natin with dairy cream buttermilk para mag-glisten.
Whether it's sweet or savory merienda, talagang sasarap ang summer with Magnolia Dairy Cream.
All right, Christine, this is now your favorite part, as always.
So here we go. Let's start with the chicken pastel.
Who waded or yung lumusong sa baha has an open wound or may mga dry cracks. And lastly, and most importantly, always maintain cleanliness in the house to
This is
ensure
actually
proper
bursting
control
with a lot of flavor, Chef. It's like the creaminess that lingers inside your mouth that you easily recognize the taste and aroma, of course, of Magnolia Dairy Cream. Malinamnam talaga.
Kasi totoong classic siya, hindi ba? So, what about the next item? Try this. Oh, it's nice and sticky.
It still has actually that signature crunch that we look for when we eat our turon. Now, what makes this even special is the glaze, and that's because of Magnolia Dairy.
That's true, Christine. Talagang napa-level up na Magnolia Dairy Cream ang ating classic turon.
Now, this is also proof of how flexible Magnolia Dairy Cream is. It's not just the perfect, diba, pandesal partner. Pwede din for snacks, breakfast, lunch, or even dinner. Now, each dish will turn into a new level of linamnam.
So to all our moms watching, I assure you that your whole family will love these two. Talagang sasarap ang summer with Magnolia Dairy Cream.
And of course, once again, we had the chicken pastel cups and turon made extra special with Magnolia Dairy Cream. Ang pinipili ng mapiling ina.
Magnolia Dairy Cream is available in 2 variants, the classic and the buttermilk. It comes in 100 grams and 200 gram pack.
So if you're wondering how you can buy one, well, just go to leading supermarkets near you. You can also order it online and have it delivered to your home. Just visit the hub at sanmiguel.com.ph. At mas masarap ang summer with Magnolia Dairy Cream ang pinipili ng mapiling ina. And Chef I, the awesome chef talaga. Thank you so much. I'm glad you really enjoyed it. Thank you.
So, mommies, what a way to start our day. And of course, Chef Yen here will be back with me to share more recipes. So don't go away. Wholesome meals, better life will be right now.
Left uncovered. And even yung consumption or pagkain natin ng mga raw and contaminated fruits and vegetables can also be a risk factor. That's why it's important to wash thoroughly or hugasan po natin maigi ang mga fruits and vegetables before eating them and cook our food well and use food cover. That way, flies can be prevented from contaminating them. Risk factor din yung pagiging isang healthcare worker who handles directly specimen for mga typhoid fever.
Now, many of you have probably experienced diarrhea at one point. It's usually just mild and mainly affects probably young children below 5 years old. But Dr. Sally, when is diarrhea a cause for concern?
So most cases of diarrhea naman are self-limiting or they resolve by themselves.
Who said you
However,
can't enjoy
in
a
cases of
well-mixed
severe
cocktail at
diarrhea,
home?
meaning you have
Whether
more
you're
than
a
10
beginner
episodes
or a pro
of loose
at
stools in a
bartending,
day,
it's
or
easy
diarrhea
to whip up a
presents
nice
with
refreshing
fluid
drink
losses
on your own.
greater than the oral intake, meaning mas marami siyang
In this
nilalabas
course, I'll be
kaysa sa
showing you
naiinom.
multiple ways
That
to
can
make
lead to
all sorts
dehydration,
of
which is a
cocktails.
life-threatening concern or
Join
if
me
left
as I
untreated.
teach you
So
all
lalo na
about
sa children,
mixology at the
dehydration
Premium
is
Mix
particularly
Season 2
dangerous.
by
So warning
GSM
signs for
Premium Gin.
diarrhea which can be causes of concern includes yung mga diarrhea
Amid the
that lasts for
darkness,
more than
look on the
24
bright side.
hours, even
Efforts
if
to
you already
protect
started
economic
your
frontliners
treatment.
from COVID-19
Excessive
are
thirst,
kicking into high
bata
gear,
with dry
and
mouth,
San Miguel
sunken
Corporation
eyeballs,
is leading
and
the
some
way.
may also present with pag kinurot mo sila or if you pinch their skin, hindi siya bumabalik for less than 2 seconds. So that's also a warning sign. And even yung mga passage of bloody stools or fever,
The first day of the company's vaccination program for its employees was held in La Salle Green Hills in Mandaluyong. Physical distancing was observed at all times, and frontliners wore protective equipment. SMC employees were happy to get their first shots.
Napaka-efficient po, napakabilis, very systematic.
Vaccine czar Carlito Galvez admits government needs the help of SMC and other private companies in the vaccine rollout. San Miguel President and CEO Ramon Ang is urging SMC employees to get inoculated as soon as possible with any available vaccine brand. Ang says what matters most is that economic frontliners and their families are protected.
San Miguel
billions of pesos in doing everything we can to help our people, our co-employees and partners.
Over 500 employees got their first shots on day 1 of SMC's vaccination program. The conglomerate is aiming to inoculate all of its 70,000 employees. Sam Squani, CNN Philippines.
Go to the hospitals. Kasi po pareho po silang mga influenza-like illnesses. In this case, pag sigurado tayo ng pang-asa na, of course, paracetamol lang po, vitamin C and pahinga. But if you have yourselves checked, and it turns out to be positive for COVID, ibang usapan po yan. Pero sila po, kasama po yan sila sa ini-screen ngayon in the fever lines po ng DOH.
For some people, the change in season might also mean mga allergies. The rainy season usually brings about common allergens such as pollen, dust mites, as well as mold. Now, this allergic reaction is called allergic rhinitis or allergic rhinosinusitis. Now, Dr. Sally, how can we know if we're sensitive sa mga allergens na ito? No? Ano yung mga symptoms naman na pwedeng maramdaman kapag may allergic rhinitis ang isang tao?
Okay, so when we say allergic rhinitis, it is an allergic response to a specific allergen or allergens. It is usually caused when our body overreacts to a certain
Now, earlier, Chef Yan
allergen, like
showed us how
pollen,
to
dust,
level
or
up
molds.
classic Filipino
Common
dishes.
signs
Now,
of
this time,
allergens
she'll bring
includes
the
yung
flavors
very
of the
common is
world
yung
into your
sneezing or yung
home, and we'll be
pagbahe
tasting
more
summer
than the
sweet
usual,
from
runny
around
nose
the
or yung
globe,
passage of
and
watery nasal
here's a spoiler.
discharge.
We'll
And,
make it even
also they
cheesier.
also present
So
with
we have
itchy or
Milky
dry
White
eyes na
filled
makati yung mata
dorayaki
nila.
and
Some may
Milky
also
White and
have
strawberry
dry or
filled
thickly
buns
cough
na
na
mas
makati po ang
pinamilky
lalamunan
at mas
nila.
pinakreamy
And
with
occasionally with
Magnolia
sore
cheesy
throat and
Milky
cough.
White
Yung cough
spread.
naman
You know,
nila, hindi
crispy
siya
dorayaki
nagpa-persist.
is a
It's
very
more of
popular Japanese
with particular
dish.
timing
Para
of the
siyang
day
pancake-like
dahil brought
sandwich,
about
and
by
then
the
it's
post-nasal
filled with
drip.
like
So, ang difference niya with
na
allergic
mga
rhinitis,
spreads like
definitely you
red bean
won't have
paste o
fever
kaya
and you
matcha
won't have
tea.
mga muscle
Pero
pains
syempre yung sa
like
atin
those
kakaiba
na
kasi
nakikita
pwede mo
natin
palitan
sa
ng
other
filling
illnesses.
according to your
Now that we know
preference.
about
At
these prevalent
nilagyan natin ng
monsoon
Magnolia
diseases,
Milky White
what's the
spread.
best defense
Yung Milky
against
White
them?
and strawberry
We'll discuss
filled
this
buns
after a short
naman
break.
ay
We want to be your
inspired by
partner for a
Russian cream
lifetime
buns.
of
It's a
good
sweet
health.
dough
So stay
actually
with us
made
on
with
CNN
creamy
Philippines.
cheese filling in the middle. These are not your regular baked goods dahil pinasarap talaga siya ng Magnolia Cheesy Milky White spread. Magnolia Cheesy Milky White has a mild cheese flavor that kids love. It is very versatile, especially during snack time. Now, not only that, mga mommies ha, pero high in calcium pa ang Magnolia Cheesy Milky White. Magnolia Cheesy Milky
I'm Dr.
White
Freddy
spread
Gomez,
comes
and
in
this is
3
Mental Health
sizes.
Talk,
You have
where
the
your health
120
comes
gram
first.
pack,
If you find yourself getting sick this rainy season, don't panic. Sometimes it
now
can
there's
be
also the
prevented, but
Magnolia
there are
Cheesy
so many
Milky
steps
White
you can take to
165
protect
gram
yourself
bar.
from
And these are all
viruses.
available in
From
all leading
frequent hand
supermarkets
washing
and
to
grocery
staying
stores
hydrated
nationwide.
and
And you
getting
can also
immunization
order
shots or
online and
prescriptions.
have it
We'll
delivered to
discuss
your
all of
home.
these
Just
right
visit
now.
the hub.
So your
that's
first and best line of defense against viruses is to
sabi mo nga
choose
kanina,
a
di ba, yung
healthy
dorayaki is
lifestyle.
really
This is the best
popular
way
in Japan,
to
especially sa
naturally
mga
keep
kids.
your immune
It's
system
simple, but it's
strong.
packed with flavor.
Dr. Sally, can you give us some
How can I
tips
actually make it
to
at home? So
strengthen
these are the
our
ingredients that
immune
you need to
system?
Our
prepare.
first line of
One
defense is really to
235
choose a
gram
healthy
pack
lifestyle.
Magnolia Cheesy
It is
Milky
the
White
single best
spread.
step we can
One
take
480
to naturally
gram
keep
pack
our
Magnolia
immune system
pancake
working
plus with maple
properly.
syrup.
So
1
our
cup
body
water.
functions better
1/3
when we are
cup
protected
chocolate
from
spread.
environmental
2
assaults and
tablespoons cocoa
reinforced further
powder.
if we
and
take
2
yung mga healthy
teaspoons
living
powdered
strategies
sugar
such
for
as
dusting.
avoiding smoking
So in a
or
bowl,
other vices,
whisk together
eating nutritious
pancake mix,
food, staying
water,
hydrated,
cocoa
taking our daily
powder,
doses of
and chocolate
vitamins,
spread.
exercising
Then in a
regularly,
non-stick
and
pan,
getting adequate
pour
sleep, and
every
as
2
much as possible try
tablespoons
to
of
minimize
batter
yung mga
and
unnecessary
cook
stress.
for about
We
1
must
to 2
also
minutes per
update
side.
our
So until yan
immunization,
medyo
since
magbubble and then
vaccines are there
turn.
to
So
prime
over
our
low
immune
heat ito,
system
no,
to
until
fight off
pancake
diseases
has set.
even
Then
before
cook
they enter our
pancakes
body.
and set
So all of
aside.
this
Now on
play
8
vital
pancakes,
roles
spread
in fighting
cheesy
off
milky
diseases
white
and
spread.
strengthening our
Then
immune
cover
system.
with remaining
Never underestimate
pancakes to
what
make
eating healthy,
sandwiches. And lastly,
exercising
dust with
regularly, and
powdered
getting
sugar
enough rest
just
can
before
do for your body.
serving. Wow, that's
Now,
so
vitamins
fast
and supplements
so,
are also a good way
easy.
to boost
You can even
one's
invite your
immunity.
kids to
Now, while
help you
most
out, diba?
vitamins
And you
can
know,
be
just
taken at
give
any
them
time
simple
of
tasks.
the day,
But of
some
course, you need to make them
vitamins
feel
are actually
that they
better
are
absorbed
info.
under certain
That's
conditions.
true. We also
Dr.
have
Freddy,
here
what
our
are some
milky
of the
white and
vitamins
strawberry
na
filled
dapat
buns. It looks
tinitake
actually
ng
like
ating
something
mga
I would
viewers?
actually
What is
buy
very important
at a
nowadays
bakery
is
store, but
vitamin
I
C
can
plus
make it at
zinc.
home.
Well, for the senior
So how easy
citizens,
is this
they
to
have
make?
maybe
So, yeah, you have a
antioxidants
sweet
more,
dough, no? And
vitamins
it's made
with
from our instant
antioxidants.
pandesal mix.
Of course,
I-bake mo na
different
siya.
from the needs
So
of those
it's like a
young
bread
adults
dough.
who
Bake
go
mo
out
siya,
to work,
place a crater,
who
then put in
commute,
your
because
Magnolia
seniors
Milky
have to
White
stay at home, so
spread.
less
Okay, Chef,
activity
I think
now.
it's time to do the taste
Of course,
test
for
and
children,
bring all of
another
these,
set of
global
vitamins. So
sweets
it
into my
depends on
home.
the
So which
age
one should I
group
try
and
first? So
to the
sisimulan
call
natin
of
sa
the
Milky White
physician.
filled
But I would
dorayaki.
still advise, eating healthy food. Okay? So not so much with the vitamins
That
because
totally
we
fits
are
the
a
spot.
culture who
I mean,
depended
it's
so
delicious.
much
The
on
pancake bun,
vitamins.
as you
I
noticed,
would
was so
prefer
soft,
we eat
but the
right
filling is
food
so
and
creamy
sleep.
and
It
so
is actually
milky.
more
Mild
ideal
lang
to
yung
get your
cheese flavor and it
vitamins
makes
as
you
well
want
as
to have
any other
more. So
nutrients
Magnolia
doon
Cheesy
sa
Milky White
pagkain
really has
na
something
tinitake mo.
so
Ngayon,
unique
going
to
with what
Magnolia
Dr. Fergie
Cheesy
said, Dr.
Milky
Sally,
White
meron
is
ba
also
tayong
high
good
in calcium,
sources
kaya
ng vitamins
perfect for
pagdating
growing
sa pagkain?
kids. It has a mild cheese flavor
Yes, there
and
are.
has a
Aside from the
perfect
usual
blend
na
of
over-the-counter
creamy and
vitamin
milky
C
taste na
supplements
hindi
you can purchase from
nakakaumay.
drugstores.
Masarap
It can also
talaga.
be found
Agree, masarap talaga.
in
Now you can
foods,
try
particularly
naman
sa
the
fruits
Milky White and
vegetables.
strawberry
So,
filled
the top sources of
bun.
vitamin C
I'm
are
excited
citrus
for
fruits, yung
you.
oranges, kiwi,
It's so
cantaloupes
soft
or
and
melon,
fluffy, and I also like how
strawberries, even
the cheese
peppers,
filling complements it so
tomatoes,
well. You should
cauliflower,
really try
broccoli,
Magnolia
and
Cheesy
potato.
Milky
So,
White in your
basically,
baked goods. Kaya
madali
mga
naman
viewers
silang
namin,
hanapin
Magnolia
among
Cheesy
sa mga
Milky White
groceries
is
and even sa
available
mga
in spread
stores natin.
and in bar.
Yes, that's right.
Whichever
Hindi
you
dapat maging
choose, I can
mahal para
guarantee the
kumain ng
milky
masustansya.
and creamy
So try to
goodness of
incorporate these
Magnolia
foods
Cheesy
into
Milky
your
White.
daily diet as
Magnolia
much as
Cheesy
possible.
Milky
And we
White has
also
a
continue to
mild
remind
cheese
you to
flavor
always wash your
that
hands and
kids will
practice
enjoy.
minimum
It's not
health
just
standards.
delicious,
Let's all
high
work together to
calcium
keep
pa nga.
safe from these
Kailangan ng
monsoon
mga
diseases
growing
as
kids
well as
natin.
COVID-19.
So to
With that,
recap,
I'd like
we
to thank
have here
infectious
Milky
disease
White
specialist
filled
Dr. Fergie de
dorayaki
Guzman
and Milky White and
Dr.
strawberry
Rosalie Fuentes
filled
La
buns
Rosa,
na mas
for guiding us
pinamilky
today with
at
this
mas
topic. We hope our
pinakreamy with
conversation
Magnolia
was very
Cheesy
helpful
Milky
to
White.
our viewers.
Magnolia Cheesy
Choose
Milky
well and
White
choose to
has
be healthy.
a
I'm
mild
Dr.
cheese
Freddy Gomez.
flavor
Stay safe,
and it's
and we'll see you
high
again
in
next time.
calcium. Something that kids will love and need for a strong body. Magnolia Cheesy Milky White comes in 3 sizes. There's a 120-gram pack, the 200